I was wondering if you have ever witnessed an Indian person consuming rat meat. If that is the case, please share your thoughts in the comments section. I am going to take you on a journey today to make you aware of a terrible secret that pertains to rats. Not only are they a nuisance, but they are also a dish that is surprisingly well liked. The idea of raising rats for the purpose of providing food may come as a surprise to many people. But in many regions of the world, especially India, this is a regular practice. Although there is no single method that is universally accepted for rat farming across all of India's areas, the majority of the methods that are used are straightforward and inexpensive. Rat farming in India is unique for a number of reasons, one of which is that the rats are frequently kept in small, enclosed spaces and enclosures that are made up of items. It is possible for families living in rural areas to maintain rats in simple locations, such as cellars or storage rooms, which allows them to cultivate their rats in an environment that requires little effort and costs little money. Rats are primarily raised for the purpose of consumption, and they are also offered during celebrations or meals with the family. There are some households that keep them in wooden cages or containers, which allow them to live and reproduce in settings that are similar to those of the wild. Breeding rats are chosen from individuals who are healthy and have a high reproductive rate in order to guarantee consistent population expansion. After around 2 to 3 months of being raised, mature rats can attain a weight of something between 1 and 2 pounds. The majority of the food that rats consume is comprised of grains, rice, or leftover scraps from the kitchen. People in India, for example, frequently make use of farm goods that are easily accessible in order to feed the local rats. Their diet is mostly composed of nutrients derived from plants. However, families that raise rats may occasionally supplement their nutrition with small insects or other foods derived from animals. It is only after the rats have reached the required weight and reached maturity that they are ready to be consumed. Depending on the preferences of the locals and the culinary customs of the Indian people, there are a number of different ways that rats can be prepared. Rat-based foods in India are well known for their ease of preparation and simplicity, despite the fact that they continue to be tasty and include a significant amount of nutrients. The spiced braised rat is one of the most well-known recipes produced with rats. It is prepared by first marinating the rat with traditional spices including turmeric, chili pepper, garlic, and ginger, and then slowly simmering it in water or milk. The flavor of this dish is described as being rich and aromatic, and it is typically consumed during celebrations or dinners with family. Not only may rats be grilled or fried with spices, but they can also be steamed with banana leaves, which results in a cuisine that is not only straightforward, but also very appetizing. In addition, there are villages in India that make rat soup or curry with ingredients such as tomatoes, onions, and spices that are characteristic of Indian cuisine. What are your thoughts on rat meat? Leave a comment below if you are willing to give it a shot. In addition to growing rats for food, the people of India have also developed rat farming in order to provide 2 important markets: the industry of pets and the industry of food. It has been observed that the demand for pet rats has greatly increased over the past several years, particularly in metropolitan cities. Rats are considered to be one-of-a-kind pets by a lot of households in India, due to the fact that they are little, simple to care for, and intelligent. In order to ensure the health and lifespan of popular pet rat species, such as albino rats, Dumbo rats, and fancy rats, they are raised in clean settings and fed specific diets. All throughout the year, animal lovers and pet retailers in India receive thousands of rats from professional rat breeding farms in these countries. It is not a good idea to maintain a rat that has a foul odor, which is why these rats are raised in surroundings that are clean and have adequate ventilation. Enclosures for rats in India are constructed out of plastic containers that have a metal mesh cover placed on top of them. When it comes to nutrition, pet rats are provided with a diet that is extremely nutrient-dense and consists of grains, vegetables, and food that has been specifically created for rats. For the purpose of assisting rats in developing fur that is silky, lustrous, and brilliant in color, large breeding farms import specialized food from other countries. The rats are provided with dry food, but they are also given fruits like apples, pears, and sunflower seeds in order to increase the amount of vitamins that they consume. Rats kept as pets are subjected to painstaking care and are bathed on a regular basis with a particular sand to ensure that they remain clean. Despite living in tough conditions, rats are able to maintain enormous numbers because of their exceptionally powerful reproductive capabilities. To begin reproducing, a female rat can begin doing so as early as 4 to 6 weeks of age, and she will continue to do so throughout her entire life. The gestation period for rats is extremely brief, lasting just around 19 to 21 days. The number of pups that can be produced by a single litter can range anywhere from 6 to 12, depending on the species and the characteristics of the habitat. A single female rat can give birth to anywhere from 5 to 10 litters in a single year, which can result in dozens or even hundreds of offspring if the situation is not controlled. There is no hair on newborn rats, and they are wholly reliant on their mother. Newborn rats are also blind. Around the time that they are 2 weeks old, they start to develop fur and open their eyes, and they become completely independent in just 4 to 5 weeks. All of these baby rats eventually achieve adulthood and are prepared to reproduce, which results in a never-ending cycle of reproduction. Rat populations are able to develop at an exponential rate as a result of their fast reproduction rate. As I said above, in India, the consumption of rat meat has deep roots in certain tribal communities, particularly among groups like the Mushahar in Bihar and the Adi in the northeast. For these communities, rats are not merely pests, but an essential source of protein and tradition. Eating rat meat is tied to cultural heritage and survival, especially in areas where food scarcity is common. Rats are often hunted during seasonal festivals and communal gatherings, symbolizing resourcefulness and resilience. These long-standing practices have helped preserve culinary customs that are unique and still thriving in some of the most remote parts of India. Furthermore, there's a distinct difference between wild-caught and farm-raised rats, both of which contribute to the rat meat supply. In rural India, farmers often trap wild rats in rice fields using traditional bamboo traps, trained dogs, or even by digging out their burrows. These rats are prized for their natural flavor, which is believed to be more intense due to their wild diet. On the other hand, farm-raised rats are reared in more controlled settings, usually for consistent supply and safer handling. While wild rats can pose health risks, especially if not handled properly, they are often consumed immediately after capture. This contrast highlights the coexistence of tradition and practicality within the rat meat ecosystem. In addition to its cultural value, the rat meat industry has a notable economic impact on rural households. For many low-income families, rat farming or trapping can provide a modest but steady source of income. Rats are sold live or prepared at local markets, where a kilogram of meat can fetch a surprising price given its niche appeal. In regions with little access to conventional livestock, rat meat becomes an affordable and accessible protein option. The ability to raise or catch rats with minimal cost also makes it a sustainable livelihood for people living in poverty-stricken areas, particularly during lean agricultural seasons. What makes rat meat even more compelling is its comparison to more conventional meats, such as chicken, pork, or mutton. Nutritionally, rat meat is rich in protein, low in fat, and considered easy to digest. Moreover, raising rats requires significantly less space and resources than larger livestock. This low ecological footprint means rats produce fewer greenhouse gas emissions, require less water, and feed primarily on agricultural scraps. In areas where food security and climate change are pressing issues, rats offer an unconventional but promising solution for protein production in a sustainable way. Alongside this, rat meat has gradually made its way into street food culture and local cuisine in some regions. Vendors in rural markets and tribal areas cook rat meat using traditional recipes that include roasting, stewing, or frying with local spices. These dishes are often aromatic, spicy, and surprisingly popular among locals who view them as a delicacy. In some regions, rat meat is even served during weddings or festivals. Tourists who dare to try these dishes are often shocked by the taste and texture, which some describe as similar to rabbit or lean chicken. As exotic food trends grow, there's rising curiosity about rat meat as a cultural culinary experience. However, despite its cultural and economic roles, rat meat consumption also brings up concerns about food safety and ethics. Wild rats, especially those from urban areas, may carry diseases or parasites, making proper handling and preparation critical. There is limited regulation in place, and in some areas, local authorities discourage rat meat sales due to hygiene concerns. Ethical questions also arise around the mass farming of rats, particularly regarding their living conditions and humane treatment. If India's rat meat industry is to grow in scale and reputation, stricter health regulations, proper farming practices, and public education will be essential to ensure safety while respecting cultural traditions.